Hello everyone, welcome to our webcast. My name is Sue Barrosse and I am Director of Admissions for Tulane University School of Public Health and Tropical Medicine. And today's guest is Talubezie Kasongo. Would you like to introduce yourself to our guest?
Yes, hi everybody and hello to future Tulane students. My name is Talubezie Kasongo, but I go by Talu. I'm originally from Congo, but I grew up in Ohio. My family moved to the States when I was 10 in 1996. I attended Tulane 2010 and I graduated in 2013 from the School of Public Health and Tropical Medicine in the Department of Tropical Medicine.
Well, Talu, when I first met you, you applied to a position as a graduate assistant employee in our office. Tell us a little bit about that experience.
Well, when I first started, I was looking for an opportunity to work, and I saw there was an opportunity to work in the admission office as a graduate assistant admission, and that was really one of the most wonderful period of my time because I not only had the chance to see the admission process from the other end, because being a GA, I was able to not only give tour of the school, answer prospective students' questions, and at the same time, I was able to meet new, like my friends, my colleagues, who ended up being just lifelong friends whom I adore, and we're still in contact even now.
Well, that's great to hear. I feel the same way about that. Well, you know, you have so many choices when you're applying to graduate school. What prompted you to come to Tulane Public Health?
Well, so when I was actually looking for schools, I've always wanted to go into MD, to become a doctor. But I always felt like, you know, just being an MD was not sufficient, and that maybe having a public health degree would make me more holistic physician. So when I was looking for schools, actually my desire to come to Tulane started when in undergrad I actually did an undergrad research in it was in biology department. The topic was African sleeping sickness. So that kind of started my passion for tropical medicine, at least for infectious diseases. So when I was looking for school, I found that Tulane was actually the only university in the States and maybe in the world that actually has a department of tropical medicine. So for me, that was really a big draw to see a school that actually has a department specifically cater for tropical medicine, for infectious diseases. So that's how I learned about Tulane and how I applied and I got in, and here I am.
Well, we have that in common, you know. I have a master's in tropical medicine as well.
Yes,
so,
yes, we do.
Yeah. Agree. It was a fantastic program.
Yes.
Okay, well, I understand that you were on our campus for about 2 years for your master's program. What was your on-campus experience like?
Well, my on-campus experience, I was busy. I was working as a GA, and at the same time, I was the president of the Tulane African Student Association. Ooh la la, they're gonna hate, like, how could you forget as a former president? The Tulane African Student Association. So that really kept me quite busy, but at the same time, while I was on campus, one of the things that I enjoyed, and I still enjoyed even now, is the seminars that they offered, that the school offers during lunch break. They not only have, I found that to be not only a wonderful time to learn about new research that's in the field that you may not necessarily have access to, and also I find it was a great way to meet prospective mentor, people that you can possibly reach out for internships. So that was really a great experience for me, just being on campus. I truly like, there's a lot of those seminars which are great. So when you're on campus, really trying to attend them as much as you can, and you really get to learn a lot.
Okay, well, I understand that I have to congratulate you because you've been accepted for a doctoral program. Talk about your pathway to this program.
Well, thank you for that. I'm actually, next year, I would start my doctoral training in France at Toulouse, and the doctoral training is in clinical pharmacology. And really my path to clinical pharmacology, although it might sound like something that is completely outside of the field of public health, is that once you really explore, you see a lot of similarities, a lot of things kind of cross over. And one of the things that I learned was that my path was not a typical linear path that you would expect. Is that I was able to take some time off. I actually took some time off to be with my sister when she was ill, and when I took that time off, I wanted to kind of re-enter the field of public health. And during that time, just getting that first opportunity, doing international development, and really being in the field of public health kind of allowed me to mold myself to understand what is important to me. And as I progressed in my career, I kind of found myself drawn towards the clinical pharmacology field, and actually the need to do my PhD started from a public health website that I was trying to create, and one of the things that people don't, at least you don't think about when you think about clinical pharmacology, is the public health aspect, and that clinical pharmacology in itself is public health. You're looking at drug safety, you're looking how the population responds to the drug once it's been on the market, and that in itself is epidemiology. And actually my specific field, although it's clinical pharmacology, my degree is going to be in pharmacoepidemiology, so looking at drug safety and looking at public health, at least population health, in terms of the drugs that are currently on the market. So I hope that was quite clear. I don't know, I feel like I rambled on.
No, I thought that was an excellent answer. So do you feel that having a master's degree in public health from Tulane has helped you along this path?
Tremendously. Tremendously. I wouldn't, because actually right now I am in clinical research, and which is something that when you think about public health, you don't think about clinical research, and that within clinical research, there is a space for public health. There is a space for population health. And for me, really, having this MPH has not only helped me in my new position. As I was transitioning, I was actually quite afraid. I was like, oh my God, this is a whole new field. What am I going to do with this? But once I was in it within 3 months, I see so many overlapping, and actually my training in public health has been quite instrumental in my position now, which has allowed me to impress the higher ups, impress some of the pharmaceutical partners that we have, and it's thanks to that. And I think for me, where my perspective is quite different from some of my colleagues who may not necessarily have the public health background, and it's been noticed, and I've been told that that's really a great.
That's wonderful to hear.
Yeah.
Well, Talu, you graduated about 5 years or so ago.
Don't age me, Sue.
And yet,
yes.
and yet you're here on campus today. So,
yes.
And you're coming to see me. So thank you. And tell me, you must feel a connection to our school. Can you talk about that?
I always have connection to Tulane. Actually, one of the things that I love about Tulane is a connection that I've made not only just with my classmates, but also with a lot of my professors. And that's one of the things that I love, is that even now when I need a recommendation letter, 5 years later, I still have a number of professors that I can reach out to who will be able to provide a recommendation letter. Even when I was on the field, my first public health opportunity was to actually do an M&E framework for my malaria program. And I needed help, so I reached out to one of my professors who is a renowned M&E person in malaria, and he was actually able to guide me and provide me pointers and how to go about. So for me, just that connection that I have to this school has really been important, and I'm forever grateful for that. It's like I have friends, and I also have professors that I think I hope to continue being in contact with even 30, 40 years from now, if possible.
Well, you and I will be lifetime friends.
Oh, I hope so. You have no choice.
That's for sure.
I know where you work.
Well, I have one last question for you.
Yes.
What advice do you have for prospective students that are thinking about coming for a master's program or doctoral program at Tulane? How do you make the decision on where to go for your school?
I think really one of the advice that I would give prospective students, and one of the things that I would say is that Tulane really is a global school, and that the Tulane name itself carries, and you will be quite surprised where you will meet a lot of Tulane people. And for me, whenever people are asking me about Tulane and why I chose Tulane, and I go, one, we have great program, we have really great training, and most importantly, we have great alumni network. And if you're on Twitter, there's a whole thing called the Tulane Mafia, and it started as a joke, but like the Tulane Mafia is real. Like it is a real thing. It does not matter where you go in the world, you will find Tulanes. And I think one of the beauty of being a Tulane alumni is that we're everywhere, even in remote countries, even in places where you wouldn't think you will find us. We're in there because we're one of the few people that really kind of go into the nitty gritty, and and you see the passion in the students, you see the passions in your professors, and also we have great professors, like world-renowned professors who have been in the field, who are doing really wonderful work, and that has been really an important thing to know, and it's been such a great honor to be a part of the Tulane, to know that I'm part of the Tulane Mafia, and every time whenever we meet, we have to take a Tulane Mafia picture.
Well, you're right. The networking is superb at Tulane.
Yes.
That's because we have decades and decades of alumni in the world. Being the oldest school of public health in the U.S. gives us that large alumni base after all these years.
We are everywhere. We are everywhere.
Well, Talubezie, I want to say thank you so much for joining us today. I'm sure your comments help our prospective students in learning more about our schools and our programs.
Yes.
And thank you for joining us.
Of course, and thank you for inviting me. And if anybody has any questions or just wants something off the cuff, I'm more than open to to correspond with any prospective students and answer individual questions if there are any. Because I was in admissions, so I did this for prospective students, so I know your questions.
Thank you so much.
No problem.
And thank you for joining us. I'm Sue Barrosse, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.